I can't count the amount of times I've opened up social media and someone was recommending something for hormonal balance. From supplements to sunlight in the morning to eating a protein heavy breakfast to having carrot salads every day. I have really bad problems with my period, from migraines to cramps to really bad mood swings and depressive episodes. So I am always on the hunt for some tips. And I'm also just a sucker for supplements and health tips in general. I know that a lot of them probably won't do anything besides filling up someone's pocket, but I am always in the hope that one day I'll just pick up a supplement from the drugstore which will cure all my problems and make me feel incredible. So to help my PMS related issues, I did pick up some stuff specifically for the issues I was having, and I just got really bad side effects. I had really bad dizzy spells, so I stopped taking them. And it happened to me multiple times, sadly. And then I just asked myself, what am I really doing? And I thought about all those hormone related tips, all the recommendations, and I had to admit that I barely knew anything about hormones. I know some general stuff. I knew a little bit about cortisol, but I decided that it was really time to catch up on the knowledge and look into the topic a bit more. So, hormones are basically chemical messengers. They coordinate different functions in the body. By carrying messages through the blood, they send signals telling the body what and when to do it. The hormones are made by glands and also some organs in the body. A gland is a specialized organ designed to produce and secrete substances like hormones and enzymes. Some main glands which produce hormones are the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. I cannot pronounce that word. It sounds so funny, but I can't pronounce it. Pituitary gland in the brain. They are basically like the control center, and they also control many other glands in the body. The pineal gland, which is designated for sleep hormones and melatonin production. The thyroid in the neck, which controls things like metabolism and your calcium levels. The adrenal glands on top of the kidney, which coordinate stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The pancreas, which is responsible for blood sugar control, and also the ovaries in females and the testes in males. An organ is a broader term for any collection of tissue working together to perform a specific function. Organs which produce hormones are the heart for blood pressure control, the kidneys for red blood cell production, the stomach and intestines, the liver, fat tissue, skin, and the placenta during pregnancy. Hormones exist because the body needs a way to communicate and coordinate between the organs and the system. They help keep the body in balance and help adapt to changes. Without hormones, all of the organs would just basically work separately. Some hormones affect almost all cells in the body, while others only affect a small amount in specific organs. First, a gland or an organ produces a hormone. They are basically the sender of a message. The hormone then gets released into the bloodstream, which acts like the postal system, carrying that message all across the body. A hormone will only act on the part of the body if it fits. This can be understood as a key and lock analogy. The hormone being the key and the target tissue, like an organ or fat tissue, being the specially shaped locks. If the targeted tissue have the right receptors, the hormone will deliver a message that causes the target site to take a specific action, like start making proteins, storing sugar, releasing energy, or even dividing. But hormones don't just shout instructions endlessly. The body uses feedback loops to keep things balanced. If a hormone has done its job, for example, if blood sugar drops back to normal after insulin is released, the gland slows down the production. This way, the system is in balance rather than running out of control. There are also different kinds of communication. Endocrine signaling means that the hormones travel a long distance through the blood. Other times, it affects only nearby cells, which is called paracrine signaling, or even autocrine signaling, which only affects the same cell that made it. And in special cases, the nerve cells can release hormones into the blood. That is neuroendocrine signaling. There are different types of hormones. Peptide or protein hormones are made of chains of amino acids, which are building blocks of protein. They can't enter cells directly, so they attach receptors on the outside of the cells and send signals inside. You can envision those as messengers that knock politely on the door. An example would be insulin, which gets released after eating. It binds to receptors on muscles and fat cells. It tells the cells to take in sugar from the blood, which then lowers the blood sugar levels. Steroid hormones are made of cholesterol, which is a type of fat. Those pass easily through the cell wall and directly tell the cells what to do by affecting its DNA. You could think of them as like VIP messengers, which just walk straight through the door. For example, testosterone enters muscle cells, which tells the DNA to make protein that builds muscle. So over time, muscles grow stronger and bigger. Amino hormones are made of amino acids. Some of them act like peptide hormones and some like steroid hormones. They are flexible messengers that act in different ways. An example would be adrenaline. It acts really quickly like peptide hormones and binds the outside of the cells of the heart, which makes the heart beat faster. Lipid-derived hormones are made of fatty acids. They are usually close to the area that they work in, so they don't have to travel far throughout the body. An example would be prostaglandins, I hope I pronounced that right, which helps with inflammation. It's released when an injury happens, which makes the blood vessels widen, which leads to swelling and redness. Then pain and fever is triggered, which tells the body to heal. So all of those hormones are stored in gland cells or made on demand. When the body detects a need like low blood sugar, stress, or darkness at night, the gland releases hormones directly into the blood. Those hormones then travel everywhere, but only affect the cells with the right receptors. So let's talk about hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance is a very broad term that can represent many different hormone-related conditions. There are over 50 known hormones in the body. Having even slightly too much or too little can have very bad effects on you. Some are only temporary, while others can be chronic. Some require treatment in order for you to stay healthy, while others may not impact your health, but your quality of life. Issues can be PCOS, infertility, acne, diabetes, thyroid issues, and obesity. Causes can be a wide range of things: puberty, pregnancy, menopause, or stress. There could also be problems with the gland making hormones, like damage or tumor, which could then lead to problems with the communication. If signals misfire, the gland might release too much or too little hormones. An example could be type 2 diabetes, where insulin is made but the cells don't respond, which leads to a constant high blood sugar. Or a poor lifestyle could lead to high cortisol. The body constantly checks your blood sugar, temperature, blood pressure, stress, or whether it's day or night. The sensors send signals to the hypothalamus and pituitary glands. It's such a funny word, I can't pronounce it, which are like the control center in your brain. If something is off, the brain tells the endocrine glands to adjust the hormone release. If one hormone can't fix it, the backup hormones step in. If the system is broken, the imbalance stays until it receives treatment. For example, short-term stress leads to your adrenaline kicking in. But if the stress stays constant, cortisol helps keep your energy levels up. So people on the internet often like to throw the word hormonal balance around as a very relatable term. Often it's associated with mood swings, acne, irregular periods, low energy, or poor sleep. So can protein in the morning, carrot salad, cycle sync in your diet, zinc or ashwagandha make you feel better? For some of these things, there are studies that show that they could help with certain issues. For example, there is a study which shows that carrots could potentially bind excess estrogen. But I think it's important to differentiate between normal hormonal changes, which aren't a disorder, and actual medical abnormalities, which have to be treated. When you have reasons to believe that there's something wrong, you should definitely go and seek the opinion of a medical professional. I know that that also can sometimes be difficult. I went to my gynecologist a couple of times explaining my symptoms really desperately, looking for help because I am struggling basically every month with a lot of different symptoms, and I didn't really get much help, and I know that a lot of females feel the same way. So a lot of the times you feel like you are left alone with your symptoms and all of your anxiety. So I understand why we all go to TikTok, watching endless hours of content, looking for someone telling us how and what to do. So I think it's important to look at the difference between just a couple of wellness words being thrown around, people trying to make money off of you and your anxiety and your worries and your health issues, and what are actual medical symptoms and issues. So take care of yourself. Don't spend too much money on unnecessary things, because a lot of the times people are genuinely just trying to make money off of you. And also maybe we just all need to put down our phones for a couple of hours, touch some grass. I think the sunlight in the morning is a very helpful tip, whether you have hormonal issues or not. And just let our stress hormones have the chance to cool off for a couple of hours.